Nerd Nation, to this latest edition of the Sports Nerd Show. We are a collection of sports nerds whose mission is to bring you as much sports talk as time allows over the next 60 minutes. Although we will strive to be highly informative and equally as entertaining over the next hour, we must warn you that there may be some cuss words along the way. But we don't give a damn, because that is the way most humans in the real world tend to talk, and we, the sports nerds, are no exception. So without further ado, Nerd Nation, sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride as I present to you the founder and host of this crazy-ass show, Scott, the Sports Nerd Wright.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of the Sports Nerd. I am your host, Scott, the Sports Nerd Wright, along with my co-host tonight, Wayne, the Professor Lynch, and Elliot Biggie, the producer Lamba. We're going to talk NFL tonight. As you can see, my normal attire has changed. It's different. And I don't care about the judgment. Judge me if you want to. Elliot's shaking his head. I don't care. It is what it is. Okay? I'm just saying. Oh, God. Let me post this to Facebook. Hang on.
Well, luckily, I checked my Facebook 5 minutes before the show started.
Or else you wouldn't know we had a show. I got you.
Or else I wouldn't have been here. And it wouldn't have surprised me, because after all that Guardian smack you were talking the other day.
No, I did not talk smack. I just said it's on. That's all I said.
No, during the show, you said a couple things. Okay. Don't forget, once you put something on video,
it
stays forever.
Yes, I know.
Okay. And I did happen to watch the replay of the show. Yeah, we all hate the Yankees here, except for one person.
Exactly.
We won't mention that name.
Right.
Of course.
Yes.
Of course you hate the Yankees.
Was I lying? No, I wasn't lying.
No, but you took the opportunity to grill on my shit while I wasn't there to defend myself.
Well, you know what, Elliot, to be
for
honest,
that, your Guardians freaking lost.
You know what? And you know what? I didn't think the Guardians were going to even come close to sweeping the Yankees. I know this is going to be a series that was going to be difficult for them. I didn't predict that they were going to win this series, but let's roll the dice and see what happens. And they came out last night and they got rolled.
Okay.
5-3, whatever it was.
The other thing I was a bit appalled by was Ken when he made the comment that the Lions should be careful about blowing out the Cowboys, because ever since New Orleans did that, they haven't won another game. The audacity of Ken to compare the Detroit Lions to the New Orleans Saints is outrageous.
There's no comparison. The Lions are far and beyond.
Exactly. So his comment was, I don't know, innocuous at best.
I wish he was here. I really did.
But totally out of line.
Yeah.
And then I'm saving the best for last. My compadre here, the fellow 49er fan.
Okay.
Talking about, I think we're going to lose this Sunday. Dude, if you feel that way, that's fine. But you don't speak that shit out loud. Not when there's other 49ers in the area.
Who are they playing this weekend?
Kansas City.
But it's in, it's at Levi Stadium. It's, so you never know. It's going to be a good game either.
Yeah, I definitely disagree with the fact that Kansas City is going to blow the 49ers out.
I'm sorry. And I'm with you, Elliot.
Kansas City don't blow nobody out.
No.
The only thing that blows in Kansas City are referee whistles.
Yes. Yep. You know what, Elliot? And another reason why I don't think they'll blow the Niners out is because despite the fact that they're undefeated, they have not been playing very well.
They should be at least 1-4 right now.
Okay. They have not been playing well. So, you know what? And the Niners got the old mojo going, especially after last week.
We won last week because we didn't lead by 10 points in the fourth quarter.
Right. Yeah.
We actually led by 6, and then I think it was 13 or something like that.
Yeah.
The magic number is 10 for us to lose. Okay, anytime we get a 10-point lead, Shanahan will find a way.
You're worried about Kyle is what you're worried about.
But I need my fellow 49ers to put out positive vibes.
See, Wayne, you know what? I'm usually the one that gets the grief. This time it's your turn, brother. I'm just saying.
Well,
And I know you're sick, but that's okay. You deserve it.
Well, no, like I said, if they lose, then they got the Cowboys coming up after that. So, and
they're not going to lose.
They're
Don't
not
even
gonna
put
lose
that
to the
out there.
Cowboys,
dude.
for sure.
Don't even put it out there.
fair enough.
Because you know that's the same attitude people have about not voting, which is technically a vote for Trump.
Yep.
Okay, so we got to keep the faith, my brother.
Oh yeah.
Got to stay faithful to the Bay. And like I said, if you're having those thoughts, yell them to yourself in the mirror. Not in a public forum where
Elliot, I missed you
49er
on
haters
Sunday.
are going to feast.
Elliot,
You know-
I missed you on Sunday so bad, man. I really did. I'm glad you had family over, but I missed you on Sunday.
Well, I kind of missed being there, especially after watching the show. There was so much I wanted to say. I couldn't even type messages because it wouldn't take the messages. I'm over here trying to send messages on a show that's a recording, not live.
All right, let's get to it. Elliot's had his rant, had his commentary. Unless you've got something else you want to go over, Elliot. I mean, you said that was last but not least. I just make sure you're done.
Well, you know, I'd like to give my 2 cents about the games last week, but you know, that's all.
We can do that. I mean, we'll go for an hour or as long as we need to because I'm in a mood tonight. First of all, the Raiders and the Jets made a trade today. Devontae Adams is going to the Jets to
I'd like to say I
rejoin
was shocked.
his buddy Aaron Rodgers.
Does that really shock anybody that trade was
No.
that way?
No,
I
it
was gonna
doesn't
say,
shock me.
Who
Doesn't at all.
didn't
No.
see that coming?
Right.
Especially after Derek Carr got injured.
Yeah.
That totally took New Orleans out of the mix.
Right. I mean, and
And did you see Pat McAfee show?
no, I guess Devontae was on the Pac-Man. He freaking
Rodgers was on the
he
show.
bumped in during Rodgers' conversation.
No, and he walked right in to the screen.
Yes.
Right there. He took a red eye, dude, to get to New York. As soon as he found out,
Jesus.
got his physical, and the trade was done. They could have
Well,
used him last night.
He's got to worry about his hamstring because he's been having a bad hamstring for the last few weeks. Too,
He says
so.
he's fine. He says he's good to go. I think that was a fake injury, to be honest with you.
That was a hamstring to get out.
That was a hamstring, and
Vegas.
I'm not playing anymore until you guys trade me.
Yeah.
Notice how quick-
trade me. Yeah.
Notice how quick he healed as soon as he was traded. He's I'm
That
good to
was
go
a
for
trade
this
me
week.
hamstring. That was a trade me hamstring.
Yeah.
Trade me hamstring.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he helps the Jets much. I really don't.
I
I
do.
don't know. I mean, because the Jets have more issues than just Rodgers and the wide receiver.
You know
core.
what I think he helps with? Sharing with the younger receivers the kind of way they need to play when Aaron Rodgers is the quarterback.
Well, also, I mean, you're talking about teaching them up and coaching them.
Well, imparting his wisdom because he played with Aaron for so long.
Right.
You know, he can be like, well, he's going to put the ball there instead of them trying to figure out where exactly Rodgers is going to put the ball.
Right.
His receivers that do well are the ones that know what he's going to do, like Lazard.
Yeah.
Okay. Alan Lazard's been balling. Why? Because he knows tendencies that Rodgers has when it comes to throwing the ball.
Right.
You think that if that was Devontae Adams last night instead of Mike Williams, he wouldn't have caught that ball?
Well, I think Mike Williams is the odd man out with Devontae coming on board.
Absolutely he is.
Because I think now Mike Williams is trade bait.
If anybody wants him, I'm just saying.
If anybody wants him.
If that was Devontae Adams, he would have known where Rodgers was going to put the ball. Mike Williams don't know Aaron Rodgers.
And therefore that induced the interception at the end of the game.
Exactly, because he slipped trying to come back.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? The ball was put in a place where he should have been.
Yep.
Now, I'm not going to blame it all on Mike Williams, but still, because Aaron Rodgers had Breece Hall wide open where he could have dumped it off and got the first down.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, again, I think he helps them from a standpoint that he can educate all the receivers besides
Well, not only
Lazard.
that, but he is so comfortable with Aaron. He knows what he knows what's expected and where he's going to be, the spots he's going to be.
Well,
So,
that's what I just said.
Yeah. And my question, my only concern is, can they get the offense on the same page, between now and Sunday?
Sure. Do you see what happened when Devontae Adams went to the Raiders? Is Derek Carr as good a quarterback as Aaron Rodgers?
No.
But yet he hooked up with Devontae Adams plenty
Yes.
when he played Raiders. Dude, he was making what's the quarterback's name? O'Donnell?
Yep.
He made him look good. He was
O'Connell,
making
I
Minshew
think
look
it
good.
is.
He makes bad quarterbacks look good.
Yes.
Okay. And it doesn't matter which quarterback it is. So I think from a standpoint of his experience, not just in the league, but with Rodgers
Yep.
and having Lazard there as well, because they
Yep.
played together.
Yep.
That's gonna enhance Garrett Wilson's game. It's gonna enhance Breece Hall's game. Okay. It's gonna open up the offense in a way that they haven't been able to open it up so far.
Well, and you know what? I mean, with Mike Williams being the odd man out, I don't know what they're going to do with him, if they put him in the slot or what they're going to do with him. But, I mean, it also gives the other receivers an opportunity to step up, because that he's going to be the focus of the defense.
Well, I mean, if they were going to double team him, they're going to leave Lazard and Garrett Wilson open.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
The thing is, he's got 3 legit receivers now. Okay. And that's going to open up the offense in a way that it hasn't been open. Actually, last night they played well. Greg Zuerlein cost them last night's game.
Greg the Leg cost them that game. Yes.
They didn't
Okay.
have Paul Hackett calling the plays, so that helped
And he
out.
should be, and Greg Zuerlein should be on the unemployment line right now.
But it's Greg the Leg. Why would you release him? Come on, it's Greg
Yeah,
the
I know, they
Leg.
used to call him Young GZ too,
Yeah.
but that don't mean nothing. He cost us a game. He pulled a Moody.
Yeah. I mean, he hit the right upright and then he hit the left upright. So he's got that going on for him.
Yeah, and notice how we won without Moody, even though
Yeah.
the other kicker got hurt.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
But Wright was making his field goals.
Yep.
He wasn't costing us in the end.
But San Francisco just signed another kicker today. They put him on the practice squad.
Well, yeah, because the other guy got a separated shoulder or something.
Yeah, trying to make that tackle.
Yep.
All right. My turn.
What other games did we talk about here?
What other games you want to talk about before I go into my
All right. Well,
my
San
speech?
Francisco, Seattle, we know what happened there.
Yep.
You know, it's like a lot of people say, it doesn't matter what running back Kyle Shanahan puts in there, they do something.
Yes.
They always show up.
Because Seattle can't stop the run anyway. So
Because Garendo ripped him, and if it wasn't because he knew that he needed a slot, that was a touchdown.
Yep.
Okay. And I'm hearing Mason is coming back or preparing to come back this week because the sprain wasn't as bad as they thought.
Right.
All right.
But DC is still on the shelf.
Jacksonville still sucks.
Thank God.
And they made Caleb Williams look like
Joe Montana.
Doug Williams.
Or Doug Williams. Okay, I'll take that. Yes.
So, I mean, and then this week, I feel bad for the people in London, man.
That's
Yeah.
going to be a horrible game, dude. That game is going to suck so bad.
New England.
And New England and Jacksonville is just, I mean, God, it's like they do the short straw on that game.
Well, don't
Oh my
forget,
God.
Germany gets Carolina and the Giants in a few weeks.
Yeah.
too.
Which isn't much better.
We're We're on the verge of causing an international incident. They're going to start waging war on us from these countries.
Oh my God! I mean, poor Germany, poor England. I mean, they've had. Well, to be honest, I mean, England got a bad game this past week, but the week before was fine. But I mean, it's just going to be. I mean, the overseas, and you know what? And they're talking about. I mean, Goodell's been talking about. Did you see earlier this week they posted that they're considering a Super Bowl overseas? Whether it be in England or Germany, they're considering a Super Bowl in a foreign country.
Horrible move.
Yeah, well, I mean, the game is globally recognized now. You know what I mean? So people are going to go regardless.
I mean, they just announced that Detroit Atlanta is getting.
But here's my question:
Super Bowl 62.
Why should that matter to us if we'll never see the inside of a freaking Super Bowl, no matter where it is?
Right, but I mean, come on.
So that means that the rich folks that can go will just have to buy some plane tickets.
Because I'm not paying $10,000 to go to see a football game. I'm saying, you know what I'm saying?
Even if I had it.
Even if I had it, you're right, Elliot, and I don't have it.
I mean, I didn't even want to pay $200 to go see the 49ers. Come on,
the only way I'm going to the Super Bowl is I win some kind of contest. That's it.
That's it. So maybe if they have the Super Bowl overseas, that's the year you win the contract and you get to go abroad for the game.
As long as that pays for my airline fare, I'm good with that.
That's what I'm saying.
Come on.
The contest, I'm sure, will include travel and other expenses. You know
I'm going to have to pay tax on that shit, but you know what? It is what it is. Anyway,
Houston and New England, that wasn't a game at all. Although Drake May did look good.
Drake May looked good.
That just shows he should have been in there probably, maybe not game one, but at least game two. Three touchdowns, 2 INTs, but he looked decent.
Drake May looked very good.
He was in command
of his first outing in the NFL. He looked good for his first outing.
Yeah. I mean, he didn't look Jaden Daniels good.
No.
Or Caleb Williams good.
No.
But it took Williams a minute to get acclimated. Now
it took him 3 games at least to get acclimated.
Yeah.
Well, guys, let me run a poll for the panel. Caleb Williams, from week 1 to now, is it night and day?
Night and day.
Yeah, completely.
When the first 3 games happened, he looked like a deer in headlights. He was just making mistakes because he didn't acclimate himself to the NFL game.
I think the game is coming to him, and it's slowing
down.
Now it is.
For
him.
Yeah, it's slowing down.
I think the game was moving too fast for him in the beginning, and now it's slowed down. And he even got Keenan Allen involved finally.
I mean, finally.
Okay. Keenan finally got a couple touchdowns and so on and so forth. So, I mean, if he's going to be able to spread the ball like that to all his receivers, and with DeAndre Swift now running the way he should.
Well, not only that, but he's running the ball himself. He's getting first downs in his leg.
Look, they figured it out. They figured out what his strengths are, and now they're calling plays according to those strengths.
And hands to Mr. Matt Eberflus for adjusting the game plan to his strengths.
Well, I'm not going to give him full credit because if he had that kind of cachet, Justin Fields might still be.
Caleb Williams wouldn't even be in Chicago.
Yeah, Justin Fields would still be in Chicago. I got you, Elliot. I got you.
So I'm not about to give Matt Eberflus a pass for his indiscretions as a football coach. I mean, because in the beginning he was almost as bad as Nathaniel Hackett.
Oh God!
Okay, and that's as bad as it gets.
The only claim to glory for Nathaniel Hackett is he had Aaron Rodgers to work with, and now he
had Aaron Rodgers to work for.
Yes, yeah. And now even he has been demoted in the offensive scheme for the Jets.
That's right, and the guy that took over last night ran a pretty good game plan.
Yeah, he did.
Like I said, take Zerline out of the equation, and the Jets win that game.
The offense looked good, except for I don't know how many penalties did they have.
Oh my
God.
God! There was
You know what?
In the game, 11
Dude,
and 11.
there
or
was
From
so
what I've
many-
heard, the refs were overdoing their role.
Yeah, there were some
calling
places. Even
everything.
Aaron Rodgers said that one of the roughing the passer calls that they did wasn't
roughing the passer.
So when you got the quarterback admitting that he wasn't roughed, you know what I'm saying?
There's
And
a problem.
unfortunately, that's one of those calls that should be deferred to replay
Yes.
Yeah.
because it's just too critical to lose 15 yards, and so on and so forth over a blown call.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense.
It's ridiculous.
Okay, the Battle of the Beltway, Baltimore and Washington.
Did not live up to its promo. Did not live up to its
I thought it did.
stuff. I mean,
I thought it did.
It was a good game, but clearly
It was a one possession game.
Clearly-
game at the end.
Jackson was the better quarterback on that day.
Well, what do you expect? Jackson's been in the league how long?
Okay, I got you on that. Yeah, okay.
I mean, come on. Jaden Daniels didn't do all that bad.
No, he didn't. No, not at all.
I mean, let me take a peek at the box score really quick. But look, he had a 110 rating,
Yep.
24, 35, 269, 2 TDs, no interceptions. I'll take that every Sunday, all day Sunday.
Yeah, I mean, he had a good game. He had a really good game, and he actually ran more. He was the leading rusher over
But
Allison Eckler in that game as well.
Here's the difference. Lamar Jackson has Derrick Henry. Jaden Daniels doesn't.
Derrick Henry was a freaking beast, dude.
Okay.
I mean, he
That
ran
was
for
the difference in the
132
game.
yards. He ran for 132 yards and 2 touchdowns on 24 carries.
Yeah, 5.5 yards a carry.
Yes.
The best yards per carry for Washington was Jeremy McNichols at 4.5, but he only carried the ball 2 times for 9 yards.
Right.
Everybody else was under what? Austin Eckler 2.3.
Yep.
Even Daniels couldn't run against the Baltimore defense. He was 6
Right.
carries for 22 yards.
Correct.
That's not a Jaden Daniels game. You got to give that to the defense. And again, I mean, he was right there. I mean, the QBR for Lamar Jackson was 72.7, and
Yep.
Jaden Daniels has 74.4.
Yep.
So Lamar Jackson technically didn't outplay Jaden Daniels. The people around him outplayed the rest of the Washington Commanders.
Yeah, it's
More
good.
weapons for the Ravens.
Exactly. Zay Flowers, 9
Yeah,
catches,
it was
132
totally
yards.
a team effort. I mean, and you know what? And the Commanders tried to come back in the fourth quarter. They scored 10 points in the fourth quarter over the Ravens 3. Tried to kind of come back, but
There was
I
even
mean-
a Mark Andrews sighting at that game.
yes, there was Amar. Yes, there was. Yes, you're right, Elliot.
If Mark Andrews gets going, man, the AFC is in deep trouble.
I mean,
and that
guys,
includes the Kansas City Chiefs.
As much as it pains me to say this, but are the Ravens the best team in the AFC?
Yes. I think they can beat the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah.
What do you think, Wayne?
I think, well, if you got to go by records, obvious Kansas City, but the best all-around team in the AFC right now, I do believe, would be Baltimore.
The Ravens.
I mean,
yeah.
Houston's a close number 2.
I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that, especially after that performance they put in Minnesota a couple weeks back.
Well, no, but I mean, I don't like. I mean, the Chiefs. There's something about the way they're playing this year that tells me that they're not as good as the last 2.
Well,
the way
remember,
they're playing right now, they're not going to get that 3rd in a row. They're not going to get the
remember
three-peat.
they beat Baltimore by a toe.
Yeah. Yeah.
They beat the Falcons on a non-interference, pass interference call.
Correct.
That would have, if it was Kelsey, the defensive back would have got thrown out the game.
Correct.
Unnecessary roughness.
Not only would he got thrown out of the game for unnecessary roughness, he would have got flagged just for getting in the same vicinity, even if he didn't touch him.
Which, by the way, that moron and his girlfriend were at the Yankee game last night.
They didn't wear any swag from either team. They were at the Yankee game, but they didn't wear swag from
That's
either
fine,
team.
but you know what? We don't need no Kansas City ass wipes in our stadium.
But Kelsey is a Cleveland boy, and I'm surprised he wasn't wearing Guardians gear. I'm just saying.
Whatever. Uncle Rico.
Yeah. What else?
But anyway,
cover on last week's game?
That was that on that game. Cleveland, Philadelphia.
Oh God.
A game where really
You know what?
Philly played down to the competition.
Philly played like
And
dogs.
then you got Sirianni yelling at the fans.
Chirping at the fans, yeah, because he's an idiot. Okay. Sirianni's a moron. Look, for anybody who thinks Sirianni is everybody, he took them to the Super Bowl. No, Shane Steichen and the other guy, Gannon, took them to the Super Bowl. Because notice, since Steichen and Gannon were gone, Philly's been a mess.
Yeah.
And Jalen Hurts has been a shell of himself that he was 2 years ago. I mean, you saw the interview he did after the last game they played when they lost to Tampa. And they asked him, do you and the coach communicate? We have our moments.
Yeah.
Yeah. That just tells me that he don't like the coach.
Right.
And obviously a lot of people don't.
Right. And it's pretty sad when you only beat the Browns by 4 points.
Well, and the thing is, the Browns defense held. They did their job. And
How about that blocked field goal by Myles Garrett leaping over
when he jumped over the guy? Yeah, that was a good play.
That was phenomenal.
That was an athletic play. Nature. Only an athlete can pull some shit like that.
Correct. He's a freaking nature.
An exceptional athlete. For his size to be able to do that, very commendable.
Yes.
But I'm going to push back a little bit on your criticism of number 4. Okay. Because honestly, he came out smoking in that second half. At one point, he was 11 for 11.
Second half. Second half.
I understand
what happened to him in the first half.
You keep saying that. You keep saying that he plays afraid and he's unsure and this, that. But that's what a bad offensive line is going to do to any quarterback. Okay. Your offensive line, that's why I'm afraid for Nick Chubb coming back. Because that offensive line is going to get him beat up.
Well, yeah, I mean, the offensive line has made a switch.
You can't blame it all on Deshaun Watson, okay, because it takes an entire team to make the plays work. And if he's constantly running for his life, guess what? He's starting to see ghosts. Because
Darnold,
in the normal realm of things, he doesn't know where the pressure's coming from. So I don't give a shit who you are. You can put any quarterback back there, and if he doesn't have an offensive line, he ain't gonna do shit. And yeah, Deshaun Watson has declined, which is totally understandable. He went a whole season without playing, and then he came in and mentally he's dealing with all this bullshit, blah blah blah. Which, by the way, he settled the last thing, so your hopes of that contract being null and void are gone.
Don't remind me.
But the fact of the matter remains that it doesn't matter if you put Jameis Winston in there, DTR, they're all going to be running for their lives because of that. I'm not going to say Swiss cheese because that would be an insult to Swiss cheese. Okay? But that is just one pathetic offensive line. It's almost as bad as the Jets.
Let me ask you this. Is Kevin Stefanski came out this week and said specifically that Deshaun Watson gives us the best chance to win. Do you believe that?
Which ought to tell you that the backups there. Now, wait a second. The backups there may not give them any better chance to win. Again, I go back to the offensive line. It doesn't matter who it is that's back there. If they ain't blocking, that quarterback's running for his life, period.
Yep.
Okay, look at Aaron Rodgers. At times he's running for his life with that Jets offensive line. All right. The
That's
only
why I
other
think
thing I can
Devontae
say,
Adams not going to make much of a difference.
the only thing I can say is that it's quite possible that Stefanski is just towing the line and saying what the owners and GMs want him to say about Deshaun Watson, because nobody in the Cleveland organization wants to admit that they were wrong.
No, and then you know what? I really think that despite what Stefanski said, and this is part of my rant, despite of what Stefanski said today, I truly believe that behind the scenes, Andrew Berry and Jimmy Haslam are telling Kevin, you have to play Deshaun. There is no other option.
And that's why he has to come out and say he's our best chance to win, because if he doesn't, that's putting into question what the GM and the ownership is saying.
Yeah, I mean, and you know what? And I'm gonna go into my rant. Just bear with me here, guys.
All right, we'll pick up the other games after you.
Yeah, based on my costume tonight, I have disowned the Cleveland Browns. They traded Amari Cooper to the Bills today.
Ooh, yeah.
For a 3rd-round pick.
Notice how Buffalo pulled that move right after the Jets picked up Devontae Adams.
Yes, I did.
Nice little counteraction move. Nice little
not to be
counteraction.
outdone.
Not to be outdone. You know what? And you know what? Amari Cooper's going into a better situation when he's got the top 5 one of the top five. I'm sorry, one of the top 3 quarterbacks in the NFL.
Buffalo just inserted them back into the championship picture.
Yes, they did. And it just tells me that with getting rid of Amari Cooper, they're conceding the season.
It's a fire sale.
It's a fire sale, and I'm concerned that Myles Garrett and JOK may be on the trade block as well.
Only if Detroit comes
two of our best players.
Only if Detroit comes knocking is the Myles Garrett thing in play.
Right, because of Hutchinson. Right,
because of Hutchinson. Right now, the names you hear out there are Myles Garrett and Max Crosby.
Well, the other one,
Detroit should be calling in on those 2 guys to fill the void that Aiden Hutchinson left behind.
Yep.
And I feel bad for Aiden Hutchinson that he had to suffer that injury chasing around Dak Prescott.
I can't even watch the replay on that, dude. I just can't.
It's all Dak Prescott's fault. But anyway,
Really?
Continue your rant.
Really? You think it was Dak's fault?
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Because he doesn't need to be on the field. He sucks.
Oh.
Cooper Rush, baby, Cooper Rush.
I trust Cooper Rush more than I trust Dak Prescott.
Jesus Christ, that's pretty sad.
I mean, you saw the Dak Prescott cologne that I put a meme up on, right?
Yeah.
On those nights you don't want to score.
On those nights you don't want to score. Dak Prescott, INT.
Right. Anyway, to continue my rant. And until number 4 is no longer under center for the Browns, and until Kevin Stefanski decides, he's in denial until he decides that that number 4 is no longer the correct quarterback for this team, which ain't gonna happen, Elliot. I agree with you on that.
It's not up to Kevin Stefanski.
No, it's
up to those. Look,
Andrew Berry and ownership and Andrew Berry.
You benched Deshaun Watson and Andrew Berry in the ownership. That's like getting pie in their face. They're not going to deal with that really well. So if that's the premise that you're living by,
they were wrong.
If that's the premise that you're living by, then I guess we won't see you wearing any Cleveland shit until 2026.
until number 4 is no longer with the team. Yes. And until then, go Bucks. I love you, Baker Mayfield. You know what? It is what it is. I'm over the Browns. I am tired of futility for the last 25 years since they came back in the league. I long for the time in the 80s and the early 90s when they were successful. And it's pretty sad when you lament for the Art Modell years of the Cleveland Browns. As much as I hate that son of a bitch.
Easy now.
All right.
Cleveland
I
2.0.
lament for the Art Modell years of the Browns. You had the Cardiac Kids in the 70s. You had Bernie Kosar in the 80s and early 90s. And then Belichick comes in as a head coach, and they were supposed to go to the playoffs and maybe a Super Bowl contender. But because Modell decided to say, okay, we're moving the team to Baltimore, that just crushed every player on the team and affected them the rest of the season. And it went like 5-11 or something like that for the season. So it's
eventually won 2 Super Bowls.
Fuck you, Elliot. and it just so happens one of those Super Bowls happened less than a half mile from where I was living at the time, at Raymond James Stadium. So, oh God.
Well, glad to know that you're not bitter.
No, not at all, Wayne. Not at all. No, not at all.
That's
Very
what I think
endearing to
of
see.
the whole thing. Glad that you're not bitter. That's what I think.
Well, I mean, he must have been in Nostradamus mode because he knew he had to leave Cleveland to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, well, you know what? Art Modell's a motherfucker. I'm glad he's dead. I'm just saying.
But I mean, you look back, you guys had Baker Mayfield. Look what he's doing now.
I mean, Baker's playing out of his mind. I mean, what he did to New Orleans last weekend was just, amazing.
I think that was not only that, but that guy Sean Tucker and Bucky Irving. I think Rashad White is out of a job.
I was going to say Bucky Irving.
Bucky Irving was running over everybody on that.
He's
on
balling.
that game.
And Sean Tucker was too.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, but New Orleans, again, I go back to that comment Ken made. Are you serious, dude?
Well, you know what? To be honest, I'll say this much. Where is the game? Hang on a second. There it is.
What happened after the first 2 games when everybody thought New Orleans was the cream of the crop, scoring 92 points or 91 points?
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, though. I mean, Spencer Rattler, considering it was his first start in the NFL,
he got rattled.
I mean, granted, he had 2 picks, but he didn't look bad.
Not in the first half.
No, I mean, and you know what? And because the Bucs turned it up in the second half. The Bucs turned up the heat in the second half, and he suffered. But Spencer Rattler didn't do too bad considering his situation. So I mean, but again, the Saints are just,
they got outscored 27. They were down 27-24 at half. They got outscored 27-0 in the second half.
They scored 27 points in the second quarter.
And to say that Spencer Rattler looked good, QBR 27.9. Not that Baker was much better at 52.3 but he did get his force. But he threw 3 interceptions too. He threw 3 interceptions.
There's a couple of things about Baker I want to mention. First of all, his running the ball. He's not afraid to put his body on the line running the ball. And then there was a point where there was one play where after he got injured, because he did get injured in the game, but he came after the first play after he got injured, he went down the field, which was it was Bucky Irving's run, and blocked after getting injured. He was running down the field trying to block for Bucky Irving. So I mean, the kid's got heart. I love him. He was 24 of 36 for 325, and despite having 3 interceptions, he still threw 4 touchdowns.
Well, that one that Chris Godwin got, that was just bad tackling by the New Orleans Saints. You can't call that a touchdown for Baker. That was more of a touchdown for the New Orleans defense.
Right.
But all in all, I mean, And that's why, because they put all the pressure on Mike Evans, and Chris Godwin went off, and the running backs went off.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, Sean Tucker had 14 carries for 136 yards. Are you kidding me?
Right.
And this guy's third string.
Yeah. Nothing like getting almost 10 yards a pop.
9.7 to be exact.
Yep.
So I get it, dude. You got to ride the bandwagon since the wheels fell off of your regular wagon.
Yeah.
Like I said, Wayne will understand. Ken will understand. Rob Buck is back in the house. Go Buccaneers. I'm just saying. You can throw shit at me. You can talk bad about
the
me.
wheels fell off.
You can disrespect me. I don't care. Go Bucks.
You like that guy in the video game where he's in one truck and it's about to blow up and he jumps over into the other one.
You got that right.
You traded in one wagon, busted up, wheels falling off, and now you're relying on one that runs a little bit better.
Yeah, go Bucks.
Yep. Found a seat on another wagon.
Just saying. Arizona, Green Bay.
Elliot, what's your opinion on Detroit and Dallas?
My opinion? Really?
Yes. I know you're gonna. I just want to hear because I know I'm gonna love it.
My opinion is what it always is. The Cowboys freaking suck. Okay? Dak Prescott is terrible. You paid that man $60 million for what? They used up all their money on Dak, and look, they had a chance to get Derrick Henry, and they didn't. Why? Because their owner's an idiot. The GM is an idiot because they're one and the same.
Right.
Okay? And have you heard some of the interviews he's been doing since the blowout?
Oh, Jerry is losing his shit. Jerry is just losing his fucking shit.
He fucking went off on a reporter today, telling him, "You're not here to ask me."
Yeah,
questions.
he was interviewed on the radio today. I guess he was just going off on him.
Yeah, he was going on off a reporter, telling him, "I'll just find somebody to ask me better questions than you."
If you can't handle the heat, Jerry, get out of the fucking kitchen.
Get out of the GM role.
Well, and then he built that damn stadium with a big old window pane, and now then the sun flashes.
Oh my God! Did you see the memes on that? Did you see the posts on that? How the sun was just blaring down on the Cowboys offense. I mean, you put the stadium going east-west when you know damn well the sun is going to shine down on. Come on, God. How freaking stupid can you be?
Yeah, well, that's Jerry Jones, as stupid as he can be. But no, and then for him to say that he was shocked at what happened to the Cowboys, 47-9.
That's what really made me laugh.
Jerry, have you
He's
seen
not in touch with reality
this year?
Have you watched them play this year at home? They got the NFL record, 4 straight games trailing by 15 or more points.
Yes.
I'll take it one step further. Have you seen them play at home? Hell, have you seen them play? They beat the Giants by 5 points, a team that couldn't score a touchdown against them.
And the Steelers by 3. And we won't mention Cleveland because they're not a real team either.
Right. Well, they beat Cleveland in Cleveland, but that doesn't mean anything because Cleveland sucks.
No. Anybody could beat Cleveland. It don't matter where you play.
No, granted, the Cleveland's got the only win they had this year against the Jags. But I strongly believe if they play the Jags next week, they'd lose.
They get smoked.
It's possible.
So,
but I'm just saying, Jerry Jones is a moron.
And I asked Ken this question on Sunday: what the hell is the deal with the Cowboys wearing blue jerseys at home?
I heard that. I heard when you asked them that.
What the hell?
It's called changing your ways to see if your luck gets any better. That's what.
They'll be going back to white. They'll be going back to white.
Go back to white because they realize they can't win no matter what color uniform they wear.
I mean, you go back to the NFC Championship game against the Eagles in Philadelphia in the late 70s. And Philadelphia specifically changed their home uniforms to white to force the Cowboys to be in blue because of the curse of the blue jerseys.
Okay, so the curse of the blue jersey, that was totally made up. Nothing really to it except that the Cowboys tended to lose in those jerseys.
Right, and they lost.
But you're comparing Cowboys of the 1970s, okay, with Tom Landry as their coach, to a team that has Mike McCarthy and Dak Prescott as the leaders of the team.
Well,
like I said, to me, it was a change. It was them thinking that they could change their routine and make it any better.
Nope.
Dude, they can wear blue, white, rainbow, whatever the hell they can wear anything they want.
They're still a bad football
They still
team.
suck. They can't stop nobody. They can't run the ball.
Yep.
Why is Ezekiel Elliott even on the team?
I don't know.
Because they needed him, not Derrick Henry.
Yeah, absolutely. They needed to pay him $5 million a year instead of $6 million to Derrick Henry. And then they decided to keep Rico Dowdell Suave. And he ain't suave at all. He had a good game against Pittsburgh. But what did he do on Sunday? Not a damn thing.
5 carries for 25 yards.
Yeah, they fooled themselves into believing that because they beat Pittsburgh in Pittsburgh, which another thing is, I know both teams had to go through the same thing, but when you have an hour and a half delay before a game and you're already, warmed up and ready to go, it can affect different people different ways.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I think Pittsburgh lost that game a lot because they didn't recover from the delay.
Right.
But they should have won that game anyway.
Yeah, they should have won it anyway. So
yeah. So they've beaten Deshaun Watson, Daniel Jones,
and Justin Fields.
Not exactly a formula for extended success.
Right.
Not exactly murderer's row of QBs.
No, because now when they come back off this bye, Purdy in the house. Okay. Not to mention a few other teams. Look, if you can run the ball, you're going to beat the Dallas Cowboys.
Yep.
Period.
All right. The last 10 minutes, let's change gears.
Last 10 minutes, you said we could go as long as we want.
As long as we want to. ALCS.
What about it?
Do you think the series goes 7 games, Elliot, or do you think it goes lower?
It all depends on what happens tonight. If Garrett Cole comes out and pitches the way he did against Kansas City in game 4 of that series, then I think it's lights out for Cleveland in 5 or 6.
Well, let the record show. I never bragged and thought that the Guardians would win this series because the late Yankees, to be honest, they scare me to death. I hate the freaking.
I heard
Yankees.
you say that too on the show.
Yeah, but they scare me to death because of the bats they have. And another thing that worries me is how the managerial staff approaches their pitching. The starter comes in, he pitches 2 or 3 innings.
No, that's
then
an
they
opener.
go to the bullpen.
That's called an opener.
Yeah, that's not even a starter.
That's an opener.
Yeah, I mean, it shades of what the Rays did the last couple of years as well. I'm just hopeful that, we've got good bats too, but it's a matter of getting them hot and getting them going.
And don't let Aaron Judge get hot. Don't let Aaron Judge get hot. Because
right. Well, he went hitless last night, so which didn't help any matters because they still lost the game.
No, he got a double.
What?
I thought he had a double, or he got on base last night.
Hitless.
I thought he had 1 hit.
I thought he was hitless. I may be wrong, but that's okay.
It wouldn't be the first time.
Give me a second here. Let's go here.
Yeah, he went hitless. He had a walk.
Aaron Judge was.
He was 0 for 2. 0 for 2.
Yeah. Yeah, I
With a
mean, I
walk.
guess he was walked. I guess he got walked once,
But he
and
did
he
score
scored a
a run.
run. But he was over 2 in last night's game. The only reason he scored because he got walked.
And what the hell's gotten into Giancarlo Stanton is what I want.
I
Yeah.
know, right?
He's been picking up that slack, boy.
He had a home run last night, and it was so.
He had the one that
Um,
basically ripped the hearts out of the Royals in the last series.
Right. I know
You know.
Wayne doesn't have a dog in this fight, but I mean,
I know he doesn't. Like Mets, Dodgers, who's going to win? The Cubs, right?
Yeah. That's who I want to win. Yeah.
I told you I watched the show.
because he doesn't like the Dodgers or the Mets. He could care less who wins that series.
And all of y'all are dreading the Subway Series. I know you guys don't.
Yes, we
New
are.
York, New York.
Yes, we are.
Da.
Nobody
But
wants to
the
see
more
it.
hate you put out there towards New York, the more they're going to come back and slap.
Nobody wants to see a Subway Series, Elliot.
Why not? It's been 24 years.
I don't care. Nobody wants to see that shit. So,
I think it depends on tonight. If they lose tonight, Cleveland's not winning 4 out of 5 against the Yankees the rest of the way. It's not going to.
yeah, and the next 2 games after tonight are at Cleveland.
3.
They go
2-3-2.
2-3-2.
Yep.
Okay. So, I don't know. I mean, if they have a chance, they got to win tonight. They got to win tonight.
They have to win tonight because look, if they don't, and they can only win 1 at home, that means they have to win 2 at Yankee Stadium.
Yeah.
Trailing 3-2 going back to New York.
Yep. So, but
and of
I'm
course,
very
we
proud.
all know what happens. And I don't want to this 20-year anniversary of the Yankees blowing an 0-3 lead to Boston. I don't want to hear that shit. If Cleveland goes down 0-3, they are not. There's not going to be any David Ortiz's or
right.
Who's the manager of the Dodgers that stole second?
Dave Roberts.
Dave
There's
Robinson.
not going to be no Dave Roberts. You know what I'm saying? None of that's going to even be there because Cleveland doesn't really have that kind of team. But again, they have to win tonight. If not, again, I don't see them beating the Yankees 4 out of 5.
Yeah, I don't either. I mean, if they don't win tonight's game, then I think it's over. To be honest,
Mm-hmm.
and going into this series, I was very happy to see how they came back against Detroit because they were down 2-1. If you remember,
Mm-hmm. So were the Dodgers.
And I was very happy to see how they responded and beat Detroit in the division series. And I mean, even if they lose to the Yankees, there's no, the Guardians proved themselves. They were the second best team in the American League. They have the best bullpen in the majors.
Well, I mean, that was kind of iffy after game 2.
Yes.
When Clase gave up that home run in the 9th inning.
Oh God. But in game 5, he got 6 outs.
Well, that's fine. That's what he's supposed to do.
Right.
Don't cheer what somebody is supposed to do.
I mean,
And the fact that they needed him for 6 out just goes to tell you that the rest of the bullpen ain't all that.
right. But how about that home run by
Lane Thomas.
Lane Thomas.
How about that home run by Francisco Lindor against,
against the Dodgers?
what about that home run yesterday by Mark Vientos?
Martin Vientos yesterday.
That ain't no different. Lane Thomas just got a cookie tossed up to the plate and he took care of it.
He did it against the Cy Young winner because he's going to win the Cy Young this year.
Yeah, but you know what? He was already up in the 90 pitch area, and he had bases loaded, and he just put a cookie up there, and the guy just creamed it like he's.
If you have not seen the replay of, the crowd that whole stadium just.
I
went
watched the
nuts.
game, dude.
Huh?
I watched the game.
That stadium went freaking nuts.
The grand slam.
And that's
Lane
different.
Thomas.
And that's different to other stadiums. How?
Not much.
Yeah,
Exactly.
the grand slam by Lane Thomas, that's one thing, but the pitch that hit Jose Ramirez, that
was the key
beginning
right
of the-
there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was the beginning of the end.
And
right
that's
there.
a beginning. That's the beginning of a pitcher getting tired when he does stuff like that.
Yep.
Yep.
I'm with you on that.
I honestly think that they should have took him out at being a left-handed pitcher and brought in a righty to pitch to Lane Thomas. He served him up a cookie, and that's, hey,
And he ate it.
any professional hitter, when you serve him something like that, you might as well have put that ball on Z for him.
Yep.
Because he crushed it.
Yep. Well,
But
Elliot.
again, I mean, I understand that you don't experience moments like that a lot, being a Cleveland
Nope.
fan in any
Nope.
sport.
I
So
mean, you know what? And this team has provided a lot of excitement for me this season. Takes my mind off the Browns, to be honest. Okay. And whether or not they win the series, I mean, they've accomplished a lot with it.
I mean,
especially with a rookie manager. It's his first year as a manager.
You're so down on the Browns, you're even hoping for the basketball season to start for Cleveland.
Hello, Cavaliers. Let's go.
And you don't even watch basketball.
I love you, Donovan Mitchell.
You just want to hang on to anything that could produce a win in Cleveland, right?
Go Bucks.
So were you cheering for LeBron when they beat the Golden State Warriors?
No. No. You know what? I mean, and you know what? Bronny James sucks as a player. He's terrible. He's awful. He
Bronny?
will not last long in the league. I'm sorry. He won't.
No. I mean, he couldn't even compete in the G League, yo.
Right.
I would trade him for Clayton Clark in a second. Yo.
Right?
Yeah, I would.
She's got more balls than Bronny.
Well, at least you know she's going to score points in as opposed to Bronny.
Bronny's just a gimmick. That LeBron James is exposing his
If
own
it wasn't
son.
for LeBron James, Bronny would not be in the NBA, period.
And
End
the
of
reason
statement.
he ain't putting up it, look, I don't think he has the ability to do it, but why should he even worry about his game when he's got a $7 million guaranteed contract?
Plus, his dad is freaking rich as hell, so he doesn't worry about working the rest of his life.
Exactly. So that whole James dynamic is, I mean, I'm ready to throw up over that shit.
Yeah, me too.
You know?
All right, what else you want to go through, Elliot? We still got time. Whatever you want to do.
Let me see if there was any other games I wanted to cover. Tampa. Ooh, that was Indianapolis, Tennessee. That was awful.
Yeah.
Uh,
Houston, New England was awful.
Atlanta, Carolina.
Green Bay, Arizona.
I didn't even watch the Giants and the Bengals.
No, I didn't either. I was watching. Believe it or not, I was watching The Empire Strikes Back last night instead of watching football.
I'm sorry, but the best part of the whole day or the whole week was Dallas getting their doors blown off again. That's
You know
it.
what? I enjoyed that so much. I really did.
And they
But did,
kept,
did you see Stephen A. yesterday morning on?
No, I did
with his
not.
cowboy
Stephen
hat
A.
and his cigar.
Yeah,
What did Stephen A. have to say? Tell me, Wayne.
He had what's his
he
name
went
on a, he had what's his name Spears on a couch counseling him like a psychiatrist.
Well, he
Marcus,
went on the what is the show with Greeny?
get up.
Get up.
Get Up. Yeah, he went on Get Up while they were in the middle of their segment,
Pancake.
and he just walked on to the set with cowboy hat and cigar, and he was just laughing. Oh, it was hilarious! It was hilarious.
And then he did the top 5 list on the things that are wrong with the Dallas Cowboys.
You know what? As much as I hate Stephen A., I love Stephen A. I'm just saying, okay?
Stephen A. serves his purpose in certain situations.
I just love the smack talk and his reactions to the Cowboys losing. Because you know what? I love you, Ken, but the fans deserve it. I'm just saying.
And that was the number one thing on the things that were wrong with the Cowboys.
Yeah.
Remember, I told you, Stephen A. said a long time ago, if we ever got nuked, the only things that would survive are rats, roaches, and Cowboys fans.
That's great. That's great.
So,
All right,
and I
real
saw,
quick.
hey, did Ken lose a bet?
I don't know.
No. He put that Lions jersey on out of deference to that ass kicking.
Yes.
So
he was
where did he get did he have a Lions
I don't
jersey
know.
nearby, or?
I didn't ask. I don't know, but he had a Lions jersey on during the show.
But it was funny.
I thought it was crazy, dude. I was like, wow. Next time I'm gonna make him wear a Yankee shirt when Boston gets their asses.
Oh, don't count on that, Elliot. That's never gonna freaking happen. Real quick, what I want to bring up with the NFL news. Hang on a second. Let me see if I can get to where I want to go. Hang on a second. No, that's not what I want. Damn it. Hang on. There it is. The NFL owners approved Tom Brady's bid to become a Raiders limited partner today in the NFL meetings in Atlanta.
Which means that unless he comes back to play for the Raiders, he can't be anybody's quarterback from here on.
Correct. Well, not only that, but he can't really get in. He can't get in the meetings either during pregame, during prep for his games.
He should be fired anyway. He sucks on TV.
I'm not impressed. I'm not impressed with his. I'm not at all. At all. At all. And the other thing is, it looks like Russell Wilson is going to see his first action this week.
Yeah, that kind of messed me up because I had Justin Fields on my fantasy team, and he's been doing really well. And then all of a sudden, they pulled that nonsense.
Yep.
That's typical Mike Tomlin ego that, he doesn't want to do things any way other than the way he wants them. And poor Justin Fields, he's done really well for that team.
Well, they're 4-2 to start the season. Fields has got 4 wins. So, I mean,
yeah, I'm just saying. So with that split, I had to drop Justin Fields and activate Sam Darnold to my fantasy team.
You know what? And that's not a bad deal.
No, it's not. That's why I picked up Darnold and on his bye week, and I stashed him. We have a taxi squad, and that's where we stash bye week players.
Yep.
So when his bye week came up this past week, I picked him off waivers.
Yep.
Stuck him in the taxi thing, and went back and got Justin Fields, who I had dropped, to do that. So kind of a great move on my part, even though I wasn't believing. I was going to trade Sam Darnold to somebody because I had Justin Fields.
Right, but he looks like he's going to be on the bench come this week.
Well, at best, they'll split plays.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because I'm sorry, but the one thing that Russell Wilson cannot do, and especially, again, Pittsburgh doesn't have a great offensive line, but Russell Wilson ain't going to be able to escape that defense, any defense, the way that Justin Fields does.
Yep.
I mean, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. He doesn't have those types of wheels anymore. So, I mean, fine, Mike. You know what? I hope it blows up in Mike Tomlin's face. Seriously. I hope they lose all the rest of their games this season. In honor of Justin Fields. Whoa.
Connection. I'm sorry, Elliot. I don't know what the hell happened there. Anyway, you were saying about
Mike Tomlin and his ego?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I hope they lose the rest of the games this season. And that's my shout out for Justin Fields being bullied, pushed off like that. I mean, seriously, if Russell Wilson comes in and stinks out the house, I'm Justin Fields. I don't want to play.
Right. You can find somebody else.
My contract expires at the end of the season. I'll just go free agent.
Yep.
You guys can let Russ cook all you want. I'm gonna go to the drive-through.
Yeah, hang on. Let me see something real quick. There's a scenario I want to talk about. Hang on just a second. What the hell?
So what's the scenario?
No. It's the Jets.
Tribe Called Quest, yo. Come on.
Damn it. Who's the DL that's holding out on the Jets? They just got a new agent.
Hassan Reddick.
Hassan Reddick.
Yeah, Reddick. Can you see him being traded to the Lions because of the Aiden Hutchinson?
Well,
issues?
that would be another. That would
That's
you know
another
what?
option for sure.
That's another option for them if they can't get a Max Crosby, or a Myles Garrett, which is highly unlikely because Max Crosby is going to cost them a couple of first-round picks,
Right.
and a few more picks after that. Okay.
Right.
He's the face of the Raiders right now.
Yep.
And I don't think that no matter how bad Cleveland is doing, they're going to want to part ways with Myles Garrett either.
They're not going to part ways with Myles Garrett. Myles
Okay,
Garrett's
no.
got. I mean,
He's the
pretty
face
much
of that
is the face of the Browns right now.
Yeah. So if Hassan Reddick is unhappy and they can work out a deal with the Jets and want to pay him the money, then yeah.
Well, Drew Rosenhaus is his new agent, so he'd
he'd be going to a good situation, a team that's
Yep.
already built to compete for the Super Bowl.
Yeah, a team that is ready now.
Yeah. So, I mean, look, I'm sick and tired of the Hassan Reddick news over and over ad nauseum, listening to it, blah, 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 blah. Somebody sign him and get him off the news cycle.
Yeah. Well, I mean, even when the Jets acquired him, is the Jets doing Jets-like things, knowing that he was looking for a contract when they traded for him. So,
And they said they were going to give him one.
yeah. So
Liars!
you get what you deserve.
You
Right.
reap what you sow.
Yep. All right. Before we get out of here, guys, Elliot, anything else you want to go over from Sunday's show?
No, I think I relayed my 3 most confusing points.
Yeah, and I wanted to give you a chance to respond to our Sunday show because I know you weren't there. You had family at home, and I wanted to give you the chance to look it over. But
It's all good, man.
I had hoped to have Derek on tonight, but he says he can't make it. Maybe Thursday. So hopefully we'll get Derek on Thursday night to give his point of view. He relishes on spamming me and going after me about the Browns every time something happens in Berea.
Like the only team not to score 20 points this year.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
That was funny.
But best of luck.
That was funny.
Best of luck to Amari Cooper in Buffalo. He's in a much better situation. The Browns are going to end up being last in the division, and I'm okay with that because I got the Bucs. I am a Buccaneers fan. As you can see, I have disowned the Browns because of number 4, excuse me.
Sad.
And, call me a bandwagon, call me a front runner. I don't care. The Browns are just a shit show, and I'm just here,
So you don't
not
get
caring
fined
anymore. Huh?
You just here so you don't get fined.
Correct. Yes. Go Guardians. Go Cavs. Go Buckeyes.
Oh, by the way, yeah. Remember?
Oh, God. Here we go. I had to bring up the Buckeyes.
I remember
Oh,
the
God.
comment that was made the last time we were together. Ohio State's going to beat the shit out of Oregon Ducks.
Did I say that?
Yeah, you did.
Oh, I was wrong.
I don't know if that was verbatim, but I do recall a comment of that ilk. Yes.
Yeah, I was wrong. I was wrong.
He was,
Because-
we're going to go into Oregon and destroy.
Well, and it's because our quarterback is a dumbass. He's an idiot. He didn't need to slide, but that's okay.
Come on,
It is
man.
what it is. But the good news is they only have one loss, and they can still get in the playoff because we have 12 teams this year, so it's okay. You know, the Buckeyes broke my heart,
Just another
just like the Browns did.
Just another Ohio failure.
Yes, exactly.
At least you guys are consistent.
Which is why I live in Florida now, even though we got hurricanes out here.
Oh yeah, by the way, how'd that go for you?
Coming to you live from hurricane-ravaged Central Florida. As far as the hurricane is concerned, it was a long night. I don't know. I mean, Elliot. I mean, I'm sure you've been through it before when you were in Bradenton.
No power.
The no power, and when the storm comes in overnight, you've got no power. It's dark. All you hear is the wind and the rain outside your front door. That is probably one of the most scariest experiences you can ever have because you don't know what's going to happen. I had a 100-foot oak tree
that fell in
my
the
backyard.
opposite direction.
Fell down. It fell to the west, which avoided hitting my building. If it had come towards my building, I'd be dead. I would not be here.
Kind of like that family, that girl, I guess, in Fort Pierce or Port
Well,
St.
it was
Lucie?
actually Port St. Lucie where the trailer park got tornadoes. Yes.
Yeah, the girl with her two infant babies.
Yeah.
The tree fell on the house and killed all three of them.
Yeah, I mean,
when I saw a dumpster, a big, fat, huge ass dumpster
on the roof of a house.
on the roof of the house.
Yes.
And there were hundreds of tornadoes out here throughout the
Yes,
state.
there were hundreds of tornadoes that came through that were spurned because of this. Luckily, we didn't get any in Lakeland. But there are still roads that are flooded here in Lakeland that we can't.
Are there any concerns over the Nadine, the one that's supposed to be coming through next?
No, because we're getting a cold front coming through, and it's going to keep that system to our south.
Okay.
So we got a cold front coming through this week that's gonna with dry air.
My heart and prayers were with all you guys out there in Florida.
No doubt.
I was fortunate enough to escape.
I mean, let me tell you, Sarasota, Bradenton, St. Pete, Clearwater, they got hammered.
All you got to do is look at Tropicana Field, and you can see why.
Yeah, there's no roof. There's no more roof on Tropicana Field. Yes,
it's an open stadium now.
Yeah,
but that's what happens when you build your stadium with a Teflon roof.
Correct. We had a lot. I mean, here I had a lot of wind. I mean, unprecedented rainfall. We probably got 12 inches within 24 hours. We got 12 inches of rain here.
12 to 15 on the surge.
My driveway, you know my driveway, Elliot, it runs. It's a long driveway. It was flooded. It just now receded today to where it's not flooded anymore.
That's rough.
I was only out of power for 7 hours. We lost power almost at 1 o'clock, but by 8 o'clock it was back on. So I'm lucky in that regards. But there are people here in Central Florida, in Lakeland, that still do not have power. So it's almost.
I'm sure there were towns that were wiped out.
Yes, I mean, as bad as we had it here, North Carolina and East Tennessee had it worse from Helene. But Milton came. It was the first direct hit on the southwest on the western side of Florida in a long time, and we got hammered. We really did. I mean, it was brutal. So I'm actually grateful and blessed that there wasn't any more damages here in my home.
Thank God for that. And again, like I said, I was counting my fortunes that I had escaped Florida because of that. But at the same time, I was praying just as hard for everybody that was there.
Yeah,
So,
it was. I mean, it was a rough time, but we'll get through it. I mean, Lakeland Electric alone has been up to the challenge and has been working around the clock to get electric back to people. I know FPL and Duke Energy are doing the same thing to the western counties. It's just, I mean, it's a mess. It's a mess. And St. Pete Beach, Clearwater Beach, Sarasota, Bradenton. It came on one of the keys just south of Sarasota. Siesta Key. Thank you, Elliot. And it's just, it was not pretty. It wasn't pretty. I mean, thank God when it came on shore, it was not a major. It was not a 4 or 5.
It was a 3 when it hit.
It was a 3 when it hit, and by the time it got to me, it was a 2. Yeah. So yeah. I mean, we actually got hit head on here in Lakeland, but
yeah. Well, before we sign off for tonight, I want to shout out to my niece and her husband. So, Charity.
Shout out niece and husband.
Shout out.
Yeah, Charity and Patrick.
Charity and Patrick. Right on, dude.
Good to see you folks. You were the only ones to submit chat on our show tonight.
Leave it to the Lynch family to bail us out.
Correct. Always.
All right, gentlemen. Thank you for tonight's show. I appreciate you allowing me to rant. And Elliot, I was glad to have your take on the past weekend as well. We will be back on Thursday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. I hope to have Derek Laughlin on the show so he can give his point of view and smack talk me as much as he wants to about the Browns. But with that being said, and Elliot.
He will.
He will. He loves giving me grief about the Browns, and that's
he won't spare you at all.
No, he won't.
Just remind him of the beatings I gave him in fantasy football. He'll be.
Yes, correct. Because you are a better fantasy player than he is. Okay, that is the truth. On that note, we're going to get the hell out of here. I want to thank again my good friends, Mr. Big E, the producer Elliot Lamba, and Mr. Wayne, the Professor Lynch. And yes, he is an actual professor. It's not a made-up name.
He'll school you.
Yes, he will. and I am your humble host, Scott Wright, the sports nerd, coming to you live from hurricane-ravaged Central Florida, a.k.a. Lakeland, Florida.
From waterfront property in Lakeland.
Correct. And it's in the middle of the state, so go figure that. We'll be back again Thursday night at 7 p.m. To preview the Thursday night game and to preview this weekend's games. On that note, Elliot, please play our favorite outro.
Thank you once again, Nerd Nation, for spending part, if not all of your evening with us here for this latest episode of the Sports Nerd Show. Please keep in mind that we do this on a regular basis every Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday night. And since each night's start time is different, please check out our SNN group page on Facebook for the correct times. So until the next time we come together, Nerd Nation, on behalf of the Sports Nerd and his co-hosts, Dan Costco, Sean Olsen, Wayne Lynch, and me, Big E, may your lives be filled with all the best sports action anyone human can handle, as well as all the joy it can possibly bring you. And with all that said, good night, Nerd Nation, as the time has come to say, we are out.